Hey guys, we are live 8/13/2023 Patreon. A very stormy day. We're very close. Austin lives about 45 minutes from my house, and we are experiencing storms. The connection's been a little wonky, but I've heard everything you said, so I'm figuring everyone will too. This we're going to go and we're going to watch and watch. You like these matches, and I do too. I'm a fan of these matches. But why are you a fan of celebrities against wrestlers? Because a lot of the guys in the business are the opposite. They hate shit like that. But you've done a lot of this, like with Brandon Baxter, with who are the guys that got coaches, you name it, things like that. We'll talk about that and why you like celebrity matches.
Okay, so the reason I like it, I like creating moments. It's not just about having great matches; it's about creating moments. So, and I actually picked this match. I wanted to do this match because, like I told you, I've done a lot of these quote unquote celebrity type matches, and I wouldn't even call Brandon Baxter because Brandon has been in the business and wrestled and everything like that. I've done, whether it's Bud Rochelle and his son, they're doing the ESPN and Jonesboro radio. I've done, basketball, football coaches, superintendents. I've done principals, teachers, usually in a raising, money for the school or whatever it is. A lot of times that's what it is a part of. But I think there's a lot of psychology and a lot of nuances that a lot of people don't realize about, when you're working with someone who's not a wrestler or in the business, and, how you can put together a match and create a moment and tell a story in the ring. So I thought that would be a good thing to look at. And this one is one of the better ones, that's ever been done. With Bad Bunny, he works his butt off, and he does a good job in selling. A lot of times, you work with someone who's not a person, a person that's in the wrestling business. They don't get the small things that you can do, like, the small things that they should do to make the match more believable, the selling and that kind of stuff. So,
and the smile, you always, there's a lot of times with someone in the business that you don't think about it till you get out there and you're right in the middle of it and you go, oh, I wish I would have just told him, don't be laughing when someone comes at you. Don't be. And there's something else too. When a heel comes at you, even though you are a baby face, blah, 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 we're trying to get you over. You don't want to be alone with that heel wrestler. That's one of those things, a couple things right there. But one of those things is if you're – now I'm talking about a coach or a referee, special referee, something like that. You don't want to be stuck in – even though you are a babyface and we're going to put you over in the end, because I used to like to do a punch at the end with the coach or a kick or something like that, or move. The coaches, they set the coach up like he's going through a table, move out of the way, blah, blah, blah. You can do all kinds of – but make sure that the coach is not smiling and he's not – no matter what, you don't want that heel to look weak. You don't want the heel to look weak. So it's a spot that happens just because kind of thing. I've seen chairs hit. I threw my clipboard to somebody before and let them use it. So it's just one of those things where you don't, and it's got a lot better. Like you said, this is probably one of the best ones. This has got a lot better because number one, you got guys like Logan Paul, which we've already did a match of his, and you got a guy like Bad Bunny. Number one, they're fans, huge fans of WWE. I'm not saying professional wrestling because it's mainly WWE. I know Logan Paul doesn't even know wrestling exists out of WWE. And I don't know about Bad Bunny, but Bad Bunny, and the thing about Bad Bunny, we'll talk about this more, is this guy is, even if you don't listen to this kind of music, that's fine. I don't listen to his music, but I know who he is, and I know what he's worth in the music business. And he's one of the top downloaded iTunes. Every time he gets – one time he had, I think, 4 in the top 5. Just nutty sales when it comes to this guy.
And see, and he brings a lot of eyes to the product. And what people don't realize is a lot of And and talking about the not smiling, I've had several, I don't even know how many because I can't count how many times where I, grab a guy in a headlock or a front face lock and say, stop smiling, stop laughing, kind of deal. But he brings a lot of eyes to it. And a lot of people think, well, if you're a wrestler, why would you want to put over, someone who's not a wrestler? I mean, you don't realize how many eyes are on that product because of him, and with Damien Priest, you do you do this and you're able to lead him through a great match. And what is it now? Now he's the Money in the Bank winner, you know, and he's on his way to winning. Yeah.
He become a big deal, not only to the fans, but to the people in the back, because he had a good match. And let's talk about this match. So we'll go to a commercial break. If this is the main feed, you're getting a commercial break. If you're not on the main feed and you're on a Patreon, you don't get a commercial. When we come back, I'll give you the timestamp. All right, back from commercial. Timestamp looks to be 1:31:52, around 1:31:52. You can watch it with us. If you're on Patreon, let me just say, if you're on Patreon, you will not, we have a gimmick now, so you will not get blanked out. You will actually be able to watch the full match with us as we watch it. The only, I know Memphis Wrestling, Memphis Wrestling at Memphis Wrestling on YouTube, we do have to blank out the match because of copyright rules. But if you're Patreon, if you're part of that Best of the Best tour, you get to watch it right here with us. So
of course, I'll let everybody know, if you are watching on the Memphis Wrestling, that doesn't mean you can't watch the match. You know, just take another device, you know, and pull up the timestamp on Peacock or WWE Network. That way you can watch it right along with us, just in case you can't see it on the screen.
That's what it's designed for. Right. It's a watch along. So if you're listening to this on the main feed, we do call this a watch. There's Bad Bunny. He came out. I actually don't have the Damien Priest, but he's got a shopping cart full of garbage. How's that? A shopping cart.
I was going to say, what was a garbage cart? Okay, so I'll also let you know too. So like a lot of times, most of the matches with a non-wrestler or a celebrity or, you know, one of those type of matches, a lot of times you'll see no disqualification, because if it's no disqualification, you can hide a lot of, you know, a lot of their weaknesses as far as like performing, that kind of stuff. You're able to do more things and be more creative to make it, one, A, make sense, and two, you know, you're able to hide, you know, not being able to do a lot of, you know, professional wrestling type stuff. And so that's one of the reasons why you'll see it a lot of times will be no disqualification. And of course, you know, he brings down the shopping cart, you know, Puerto Rico, which is, they were in Puerto Rico at the time, right?
Yeah, this is Backlash Puerto Rico, and both of these guys are from Puerto Rico, so that was a big deal for everybody. And maybe the ref, I don't believe so, but I do know them two are from Puerto Rico, and so it was a big deal to have both of them in the ring at the same time. And the fans are nutty, guys. This is just one of the best crowds ever for a pay-per-view, and just so fun.
Yeah, and so like Puerto Rico too, you know, with all the weapons and everything, it was a Puerto Rican street fight, and Puerto Rico, that territory is known for that type of wrestling.
Oh yeah, that's all they did was there was really hardcore stuff and flying off of ladders and balconies. And one of our friends, Flash Flanagan, worked Puerto Rico a lot, and Dutch Mantel worked Puerto Rico a lot. He booked Puerto Rico more than he did work. Yeah. So we got White. I said White's for a baby face, but we still, there's nobody's cheering Damien Priest, guys. There's nobody cheering him at all. They want Bad Bunny to win. And Bad Bunny's not big, but he's not short either. Because, I mean, Damien's a big man, so he's bigger than the ref. Bad Bunny is.
And, of course, right there, you see right out there, that's what I was talking about by, you know, a celebrity, you know, has to be willing to make himself, you know, you put over the wrestler. You notice, you know, he right off the bat, you know, selling for Damien Priest. I mean, Priest looks strong throughout this entire match, and the stronger he looks, the better Bad Bunny looks. So, you know, just pushing Bad Bunny, you know, and ragdolling him around, that kind of stuff. You know, a lot of times you'll call that in it, and you know, the not really cowering down, but you know, flinching, I guess you'd say. You know, when in the corner like that, it's just small things that you can tell the story that, you know, you have a huge obstacle for Bad Bunny to overcome.
Oh, Bunny gets a move in real quick. So I thought that, and then a 1 count. So
1 count, yeah. I was going to say, yeah, that's another thing too. You know, a lot of times you'll see quick offense by Bad Bunny because you have to call a lot of this stuff, and a big thing is the referee plays a bigger role than anyone realizes, especially when you're wrestling someone that's not normally a wrestler, because that referee is going back and forth. He's the one calling the spots for you because you're not able to do it in the ring. So a lot of times you will see a lot of times the referee is going to go call what's next for Bad Bunny.
Now, here's a good question on this match. Do you think a lot of this, especially when you're with somebody like this, there's 2 ways to do a match, or 3 ways. You can call everything backstage, you cannot call anything, or you can call start and finish, and you do whatever you do in the middle. Do you think this is well choreographed, I guess is the right word? Do you think a lot of stuff was worked out?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's when you're, especially when you're working with someone that has, the followers and, the career that Bad Bunny has, an injury to him or something like that, that's a lot of money, that's lost, with him not being able to record music or whatever it is. I think they went over a lot of it. I think that, there's little key phrases here and there, especially, at the end, there's going to be a lot of brouhaha, and that's the term used for, the big cluster, with a lot of stuff going on, creating those moments.
At the same time.
Yeah. But I think the referee probably has, he has key phrases to remind Bad Bunny a lot of times on, what's going on, and, where you're at in the match. He'll have like a key phrase like, hey, this, maybe this spot, this DDT spot or something like that. He'll have some key phrases to help Bad Bunny remember.
In a match like this, you think that the referee has the whole thing lined up too, or does he have somebody's ear that has the whole thing lined up, or you think he's helping out a lot in this? I never even thought about that. Yeah, the referee is helping out a lot, and you can really tell in this one. I guarantee you that the producer of it is in his ear. He's already been through and walked through a lot of it with the guys, just to make sure that, you can go out there, and if you're wrestling a celebrity, you have a bad match, and y'all go out and, crap the bed, it could be like a huge black eye on the company, on the event, on business going forward. So it's a high pressure situation, which you got to give credit to all 3 of these guys for that. And there we go. He gets a couple of good moves in, but then we're still in what we like to call the heat here, because Damien, the celebrity is not going to get a lot of shine. He got a few things, but we're in the heat. He's going to beat the celebrity down, the Bad Bunny down. So he's really, like you said, Damien Priest didn't come out of this looking bad at all. So
right.
Oh.
Yeah, and a lot of times what you'll do is you'll notice in the spots in this match are all like.
Why do you do that? Do that? Talk about that.
Okay, that right there is, and I've done that a lot too. And that right there, it's a way to get heat with the crowd. You make it look like, hey, I've got him beat, but no, I'm going to punish him more. 90% of the time, that usually means that, that's going to come back to bite you in the end. But a lot of times you'll see that they'll pull up just trying to be cocky, being the villain, and, you really get that crowd, they really get behind Bad Bunny because they get that sympathy. You notice, like, the movie that made the most money of all time was Endgame. And Endgame is coming off of Infinity War, where Thanos won. The bad guy won. So you have all that heat on Thanos, and the most money ever made in movie theaters was from Endgame. It was that baby faces, return, coming back up on that heel, actually losing to Thanos in Infinity War. Which one was a better movie? Infinity War was a better movie, but Endgame made the most money because it was that, that come up. So that's what they're doing. They're showing, especially at this point right now, this is the Infinity War of it, I guess you'd say. This is where, Damien is really like putting all the sympathy on Bad Bunny, on the baby face. And, everything, if you notice right there too, right now, Damien Priest, he kind of goes off to the side, so it gives enough time for him to grab something. I know for a fact those kendo sticks hurt, and you will never see Bad Bunny hitting Damien Priest more than like 2 or 3 times before Damien Priest cuts that off. Those things sting.
Yes, they
do. Hurt.
Yes, they do. If they're on the body, they really hurt. Now, a lot of people see, sweet DDT.
Yes.
Looked really good. Damien really helped on that, but that right there is all Damien, but that looked good too. The kendo stick to the head, if you know it's coming, it's easy. A lot of people,
Yes.
you can sell it because it just touches you on top of the head just a little bit, and you sell it.
Yeah.
But when it's coming to the back of your head or your back, man, you can't do shit. You can't do shit about it. You just got to take it. Be a man and take it.
Yes, exactly. And if you notice, if you watch this match, if you notice, everything is done in spurts. So it's that way, because what you'll do is with a celebrity or somebody who's not normally a wrestler, you'll give like 2 or 3 moves and then let everyone breathe. And at the same time, now it's the referee's turn to tell you what's coming up next. So you notice, just like that right there, if you notice, look back on it, the referee goes to the corner, tells Bad Bunny, boot, DDT spot. So that's exactly what happened. You come up and you can see the referee, you can see his mouth actually saying boot. But anyways, he boot, DDT, clothesline over, and then splash. And then they stop and they settle back down. And then you notice what they do is they'll do like 2 or 3 moves in a row pretty quickly and then stop and settle down. They do that throughout this entire match.
I didn't notice that while watching it the first time at all, but I can see it doing that. Also, it's what goes back to that old I told you I learned with reading a biography about them talking about psychology, and it's what's in between the moves, not just the moves,
yes,
but what's in between, the build in between the moves. Tanahashi is the one that wrote that. Yeah. So I never thought about that. But
see, you notice right there, 3 and then stop. I guarantee he gets rid of it. Watch. Yep, there it goes. He got rid of it. Because those things sting. But yeah, if you notice, like it's always 2 or 3 moves and then they settle down. Because one, it's letting the crowd settle down, but at the same time, now it's the referee letting him know, what's next. And of course, he did Damien Priest's splash in a corner, and then the Falcon Arrow right there. It's one of those where you let the baby face does the heels moves to him. And if you notice right there, you see Damien is letting them know what's next. There's Bad Bunny, and the referee's passing that message. Bad Bunny and the referee and Damien Priest work together to make this so great. The referee is, letting him know and letting him know where they're at. He lets them know, he could even tell him, like, hey, stay down just a little bit. If you're wanting to build up the crowd, if he thinks you're going too fast or something like that, he'll tell you, stay down just a little bit, stay a little longer. He helps out. And if you notice right here, that's another. They stop, they settle it down, and get ready for the next cluster of spots, you could say. What I like about this is they set it up, and the camera shots are really good. A lot of times you'll tell the producers ahead of time, hey, we're going to do this shot or that shot. Like I was talking about with me and Bosby with the mouthpiece falling out. And there's they're creating that moment too, and they let the cameraman know, okay, hey, we're doing this. So, make sure you got Bad Bunny, make sure you got Damien Priest's face when he looks up, he's selling with disgust. You come right back and Priest takes over again so that they can set up the next group of, a story that they're trying to tell.
Right. Yeah,
and especially,
did not see the 2-3 moves and then get out of it kind of thing. I did not notice that on the first watching of this match. So very smart, very, very smart.
And what it does is, too, you don't put too much on the non-wrestler to remember. If he has to go out there and remember a 30-minute match, move for move all the way through, it's going to be very difficult. And so what you do is you give him, a little bit at a time and just use like key phrases to kind of remind him of where you're at and what's next. And it makes for a much better match. And at the same time, it's that psychology, like you said, letting the crowd, let the crowd settle down. Let them register what happened before you keep going.
They're doing it differently, but you can do it. It's kind of like it's their version of the rest hold where they go into a hold and just sit for a few minutes to see where they're at. And you can change it. A lot of old school people change the direction. This is not going to change any direction. It's going to be the same match that they came out with. Because like you said, they've went through this, and I don't want to. Sometimes a lot of people not really make fun, but say you're doing every move, blah blah blah. You're not calling in the ring. One of the most famous matches ever, Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat, which we need to watch that someday. It was all called way before the match ever happened. So
yeah, and a lot of stuff nowadays, it's not just where everything can be, everything can be linked back to a headlock or something to where you're, headlock, and then it's, hey, all right, I'm going to shoot you off, tackle, step over, leapfrog, hip toss, arm drag,